So welcome back to my little garage, and I'm doing a rebuild on a 915 transmission. That sounded like a train, but sorry about that. So I've got all the parts removed from the gearbox and I've cleaned everything up, as you can see. Give you a quick little glance. And what I'm going to do is sort of show you the bits that I'm replacing and the bits that I'm not replacing, and sort of explain why I'm doing it. So I'm just going to mount the camera back in the stand. One of the critical parts about these gearboxes is the input shaft and first gear, because first gear is actually part of the input shaft. So zoom in there and you can see all the teeth. I know you can see little marks and reflections, but that's actually pretty good. That's pretty normal. They're machining marks. But so far I don't see any areas where it's bitten through, it's gone through the surface hardening or anything like that. So if it had, then we would have had to have replaced the entire shaft. Okay, so that's good. And over here we've got the fifth gear and reverse and whatnot. With fifth gear, I didn't replace, we're not actually replacing any of fifth gear. The teeth are quite good on the dog gear, and the synchro band is actually not too bad as well. I mean, I might replace the synchro band, but realistically, fifth gear gets a pretty easy go of it all, so I don't think there's any need to replace that. All of the actual gears themselves, like all of the teeth for all the gears, are in really good condition. It's only the dog teeth and the synchro bands that are needing replacing, and a couple of the sliders, but I'll explain what that's all about. So here's second gear. And again, second gear, I've seen a couple of these where they've been really chewed in at the base. But again, this one's in really nice condition. So as you can see, it's got the year stamped on it, 1981. Over here we've got third gear. So third gear is a little bit different. Third gear, I mean, the gear itself again is in really, really nice condition. But the dog teeth were a little bit rounded, not terribly. Will that focus if I put my hand there, maybe? So you can see the teeth are a little bit rounded, not terribly. The synchro band, as you can see, look at all this shininess, is actually quite worn. So if you look at the synchro band's the profile, I don't know if that's obvious, but you can see on this side here it's worn away a lot more than it is on that side. So what happens, the way these work is the dog tooth or dog gear is pressed onto the fixed part of third gear itself, and I've obviously removed that already. And when you select the gears, so when you're shifting in between, you know, third and fourth or second and third, whatever it is, you'll find that the teeth on the slider need to engage with the teeth on the dog gear. But what happens is as you go clonk into gear, it's actually compressing the synchro band. So, I mean, I can't really do this here because it's not fitted very well, but let me try and squeeze that in there. It'll keep popping out because there's a bit of wear in there. I know that's sort of in. But see all this shininess here on this side? So when you're engaging third gear, that's the profile of the teeth here. Probably can't really see that. There's like a little bit of a shallow groove in the middle. So that's designed to compress, to grab the synchro band and speed it up or slow it down so that the gears are matching speeds, and then you can go clunk, and it will compress the synchro band and the teeth will engage. But because third gear's had quite a lot of use, you can see there's a lot of wear on this side. So what that means is, as this part wears down, it's getting smaller, which means that it's not being gripped by the slider as much as it normally would, and hence you're going to start getting a bit of slipping and a little bit of grinding. So on third gear and fourth gear, it's not hugely critical. So here's my second gear, and again I've already removed the dog teeth from it. So if you look at second gear, again, they're not terribly rounded. They are a little bit lopsided, but we've gone so far into this that we're going to do it properly. But also the synchro band on second gear is also quite worn. on here as well. So that's why that's being replaced. And if you look at the replacement, so this is the new dog gear, so you can see how sharp and symmetrical those teeth are, and that's the new synchro band. And when you get the new one and you put it in there, you can measure across here with a micrometer to see that it's within spec. And I believe the specification for first and second is, I think it's 86.37 millimeters and plus or minus 0.17 millimeters. This one measures 86.3, so we're sort of right there in the middle of spec. This is my fourth gear. Now, fourth gear has a really nice dog gear. The teeth are really nice on it, so we're not replacing that. The synchro band has been replaced because they're sort of cheap in sort of retrospect. That's the original fourth gear synchro band. So you can see again all the wear. So I wanted to replace that because the slider, so this is the original slider. Now when I pulled this out of the transmission, all of these grooves are full of black gunk, and it's basically metallic sludge. But the amount of metallic sludge that you pull out of these things with magnets and you clean them and whatnot, it's quite surprising, almost concerning. So this slider sits in between the gears. So when you're, so here's fourth gear for example. So you've got third gear on one side, fourth gear on the other, and the slider's in the middle. And when you select gears, this goes clunk to one gear or clunk to the other. That's how it selects the gear. So what's been happening with this slider is it's actually a little bit deformed. Now let me see if I can show you up close. So it's third gear side. So this side here is third gear, and if you look at the teeth, hopefully it'll see at the tops how they're all sort of rounded off. Okay, so that's had a little bit of a hard life. The other side, fourth gear, not as bad. See, they're a lot sharper. But once you've got one side that's done, it's sort of like, well, that's over. But the other part is, now this will be harder to, so let me get a pointer. Can I zoom in? Oh, we can zoom in. So look at the teeth. See how on the right hand side of all of these teeth there's like a bit of metal that's been pushed out. So as it's been engaging gear, it's just been slowly deforming the shape of the teeth. So this slider needed to go. It needed to be replaced irrespective. So if you look, I'll get the new one. We'll zoom in, I think. Are we zooming in? So you can see the new one is perfectly straight, parallel up and down on both sides. Okay, so that's my third, fourth slider. That's my fourth. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The other critical component of these is the pinion shaft. And again, we have seen these before where they're really badly sort of, the hardening's been sort of eaten away on the root of the teeth where it engages with the ring gear on the diff. But again, this one's in really, really nice condition. So I've sort of gone to a lot of trouble to make sure that everything's as clean as I can possibly make it. And my next step is to attach the new dog teeth to the existing gears and then to hopefully start assembly. I am still waiting for the bell housing to have its machining done because the pinion or the pinion bearing, so that's the pinion bearing, this big one here, which normally sits in the bell housing. Well, unfortunately, when I pulled it apart, this just came straight out of the bell housing, so it needs to have the repair done with a new bearing. So we'll have to pull this off and replace it too. Okay, anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for persevering, and again, I'll just show you, I mean, that's as clean as you can pretty much get everything. I say that, but yet I've still got my fingers, so I don't know where that came from, but need to do some more cleaning, I guess.